What is up, fan addicts, fan guy addicts? It's your boy, Josh Fan Guy, coming to you with this Week 10 edition of The Ultimate Fan Guy. So we're going to do something a little different today. Not really. We're going to do the same thing we always do on Fridays, which is give you some in-depth analysis on this week's Draftkings matchups. What we are going to do today is keep it shorter. So I'm going to try to keep it under 30 minutes. I don't think I can do it, but I'm going to try for you guys because I love you guys. So here we go with this week's analysis. So as far as quarterbacks go, we got Lamar Jackson at the top of the list at 7,300. Love his matchup against the Bengals. Bengals are terrible in every facet. My thoughts on this is that somebody on Baltimore is going to go off. It is most likely to be Lamar Jackson. However, it could end up being another huge Mark Ingram game because Cincinnati is just that bad. And if Baltimore gets a lead, they might just run it. Thing about Baltimore, we don't know what they're going to do because they decided to just light up Miami earlier this year, even though they had a huge lead. So, definitely don't mind playing Lamar Jackson. I think he's a fine play this week and appropriately highly priced. Mahomes, I'm fading this week, not because I think he's going to have a bad game. Like, he's Pat Mahomes, and if he comes out and he's healthy and he can get back to playing the level he was playing at, then I think Mahomes is in line for an okay day. Tennessee's defense is not to be underestimated, though. KC is going to win this game with Mahomes in there, and obviously I think he does okay. So, yeah, I think Mahomes is an okay play as well. Jameis Winston, who's actually, I almost missed him because he's on my lineup. Jameis Winston at home against Arizona, juiciest matchup. He's got the two top scoring fantasy wide receivers in the league right now. Very, very hard to not like Jameis Winston this week. Drew Brees at home against Atlanta, against a very bad Atlanta defense. I think Brees has an excellent day. Aaron Rodgers at home against Carolina. I actually think that the running backs for Green Bay are going to be the workhorses again. You don't really know which game plan Green Bay is going to go into with, but I will say Carolina is much more susceptible to the run than the pass. So it is, likely on paper that it's more of a running game than a passing game. Kyler Murray in Tampa Bay. I think the Arizona-Tampa Bay game is going to be a shootout, so I like both the quarterbacks in this game. And Tampa Bay has a surprisingly good run defense. Like a lot of you, if you don't look into it, like you don't realize how good their run defense is, but their pass defense is terrible, worse than the league, in fact. So, you got to like Kyler Murray this week. I think he has a lot of potential to put up some decent points especially for his price tag. Matthew Stafford at Chicago. Look, I love Stafford for the rest of the year, especially now that Kerryon Johnson's out. I think Stafford is going to have a rock solid rest of the year on a throw first team now, but not this week. I'm not going to play him against Chicago when he's slightly hurt. Josh Allen at Cleveland. I actually think Cleveland's going to win this game. So I don't think the Buffalo offense does a whole lot this week. That's just a hunch. It's nothing, it's not founded on too much other than a gut feeling. But I definitely think Cleveland wins against Buffalo this week. And so, though, I don't think Josh Allen's going to have a big week. Jared Goff at Pittsburgh. I actually don't love the matchup for Goff, but I think he's going to turn in a serviceable day. I do think he gets a couple TDs in this one. So, yeah, I think if you're looking for a slightly cheaper option, Goff's more than playable. Same can be said for Matt Ryan. He's got a lot of weapons. He is going to play this week in New Orleans, and I think Matt Ryan has a bang-up day. Matter of fact, I'm tempted to switch to him. I'm going to have him on some of my lineups. I like his price tag compared with his upside. Lattimore is going to be shadowing Julio, so I think it's going to be more of a Calvin Ridley Hooper sort of day. But yeah, I definitely like Matt Ryan this week. Jacoby Brissett at home against Miami. Let's see what they say about him. He's a game-time decision. He's playing against Miami. So, Brissett is definitely got a lot of value just in the matchup alone, but we don't know if he's going to play or if he's healthy. So it's very hard to trust him this week. For that reason, I'm going to stay away. Because you look, Brian Hoyer is only $100 cheaper because he also has the same matchup against Miami. And, we don't know which one of those guys is going to play. So for me, it's a fade. Darnold at home against the Giants. I like Darnold this week. I think he could have a pretty good week. I actually think he's going to get a couple touchdowns in this one. And for his price tag of 5,800, I think if you want to take a flyer on Darnold, you can. The only scary thing about Darnold is just looking at his game log. I mean, he's only had more than 20 points once this year. So I'm not going to be playing him until I feel a little more comfortable that he can put up some big numbers. Daniel Jones against the Jets in I was about to say in New York, but in the Jet for a Jets home game. Um, Danny Dimes was only Danny Dimes when he first came back. He's not looked that good, so it's tough to trust him. Fitzpatrick against Indianapolis. Fitzmagic's actually looked okay the last few weeks. So if you're really digging deep and you're like, I really want a cheap quarterback that can get me 20 points, I actually do think Fitzpatrick is the guy who can possibly do that. So yeah, I don't like Trubisky. I will never trust Trubisky. Mark my words, I will never start him this year, and it is what it is. I don't trust his ability at all. Same can be said for Kyle Allen. Same can be said for Ryan Tannehill. Um, but of those guys, I actually like Tannehill the most this week, simply because if Mahomes is playing, Tannehill might actually have to throw the ball. Dalton just got benched for somebody, so I don't really know why he's still there. He got benched for Ryan Finley. Against Baltimore, I'm not trusting a rookie. I'm just not. Baker Mayfield is ridiculously cheap. He's in there with the backups right now, in price wise. He's like the cheapest starter of the week, and he's at home against Buffalo. And what's crazy about that is I'm going to go on a limb here and say I like Baker Mayfield this week. It's scary to say that because he's been terrible. But if you're really digging deep, Baker Mayfield's where you want to go. He's only 5,000. I mean, he's dirt cheap for a quarterback, and that will really give you a lot to spend elsewhere. You know what? Just to I don't know if I want to do that. Yeah, I'm not. I might have him on like one lineup just to tinker with some more expensive players that I want. So those are the quarterback matchups. Running backs, we got McCaffrey at Green Bay. I mean, how can you not like McCaffrey? What I don't like about McCaffrey is his price tag. He's 10,500. I have never seen anyone that high on DraftKings in price. So I can't play McCaffrey. It takes too much of your budget, and you really have to dig deep in your other spots to be able to make that happen. That being said, I'm not going to tell you not to. The dude's been money every way, shape, or form because apparently defenses don't know just to stick two guys on him. Just stick two guys on McCaffrey, and Carolina falls apart. Nobody wants to do that. So whatever. NFL defensive coordinator right here. I can stop McCaffrey. It is what it is. Anyway, Saquon against New York Jets. So the Jets actually have a pretty good run defense. So I think Saquon's way too expensive for the upside he provides. That's just what I got to say about that. He's a fine play. He's a workhorse, but 8,800 is just too steep for a matchup where he's going against a team that realistically has a pretty damn good, pretty good run defense. Kamara, 8,200. So Kamara and Barkley are about the same for me. The thing about that is Kamara is he's got Breeze back. And he's healthy. I just feel like this is the Alvin Kamara comeback game. Let's call it a hunch, but I'm going to drop the 8,200 on him in this particular lineup because I have a strong feeling about him. Aaron Jones, I like the Green Bay running backs this week, as I said when I was talking about Aaron Rodgers. So I like Aaron Jones and I like Jamal Williams, obviously less, but I still like them both. I think Green Bay's going to have to run the ball in this one. Latavius Murray, he's way too expensive for his backup role now. I guess that was just an oversight because they weren't sure if Kamara was going to play, and if he didn't, they wanted to make sure Latavius Murray was adequately priced. So there's that. Mark Ingram, I love Mark Ingram this week. I'd like to put him here on this lineup, but because I do think Baltimore is going to have a lot of success this week against Cincy. He is very highly priced, as is Lamar Jackson. They're almost the exact same. So for me, it's a pass on Ingram in this lineup, but I do like Ingram a lot this week. I also like Nick Chubb a lot this week. I think Chubb's going to have a good game against Buffalo. Everybody's worried about Kareem Hunt, and that's one reason I'm going to fade Chubb for the most part this week, just to kind of see how that unfolds. But Nick Chubb's a fine play this week. The Marlon Mack is an amazing play this week. My only problem with Mack is he's not involved in the passing game. So he's got a juicy matchup against an awful Miami defense that just allows everyone to just gash them. So I definitely do like Marlon Mack, and I like how much the Colts are going to lean on him this week. I just wish he got more targets, man. That's a lot of cheap points that we're missing because he just never gets targeted in the pass game. Lev Bell, man, he's questionable. I love his matchup. I definitely like his matchup a lot at home against the Giants this week, combined with his price tag of 6,900. If he is their workhorse, you're getting a pretty good value with Le'Veon Bell because he catches a lot of passes. He's sandwiched in between Marlon Mack and Derrick Henry, two guys who have amazing matchups, but they don't catch balls. Derrick Henry is another guy who, if you've noticed, the way to beat the Chiefs this year is to just run the ball, run the ball. And so, but Andy Reid's clever, and I think he's starting to catch on that people are doing that. So, and Derrick Henry's really the only weapon Tennessee has. So, I would like to think that KC is going to shut him down and force Tannehill to throw the ball. That's how I would play it if I was a defensive coordinator for the Chiefs. So, but I'm usually wrong about this. On paper, Derrick Henry is an amazing matchup. He is an amazing matchup. Jalen Samuels, I guess he's in there for Connor. Not too crazy about him, but he should do okay. Gurley, same thing. Just don't know what's up with him. David Johnson against Tampa Bay. I mean, he's really cheap for what he brings to the table. He is up against a very stout Tampa Bay defense, but David Johnson catches a ton of passes, a ton. So, and looking below, there's not a whole lot of guys I like. My problem with David Johnson this week is kind of what we've seen the last few weeks from Cliff Kingsbury, which is we just don't know what kind of usage he's going to get on his first week back. We don't know how healthy he is, and he has a really tough matchup. So we just don't know. I'm going to run Derrick Henry on this lineup. So I've used a lot of my salary already, which is not good. I'm going to skip over to defenses, and then we'll go back to receivers and tight ends. So defenses, love the Ravens at Cincinnati. Cincinnati is starting a terrible new quarterback that has never taken an NFL snap. Don't really know how that's going to unfold for them, and therefore I don't like the Ravens. I don't like Cincy's chances in this one, and I do like the Ravens a lot. Saints at home against Atlanta. Matt Ryan is playing, so I think that means the Saints are a little overpriced here, even though their defense has been rock steady. Colts against Miami. Yeah, can't say I hate that one. As I sort of scan going down, for me, I'm going to play the Jets in this one. I'm going to play the Jets, I think. Their matchup, I like the Giants and the Jets, actually. I feel like they both have a chance to... both offenses are just bad. And both defenses aren't that bad. So I just don't know. This is who I want to play. I want to play the Cleveland Browns defense this week. Ready for this? One of my favorite defenses for the week, and they're super cheap. I just call this one a hunch, but I really think Cleveland gets the job done this week against Buffalo at home. I think Buffalo is very overrated, especially their offensive side of the ball. And I think the Browns get the job done. And I think they do a lot of it defensively. So I'm going to play the Browns this week as far as defenses go, on this lineup at least. But I do like the Browns. I like the Jets. I like the Giants. I like the Colts. And I like the Ravens. Those are going to be my favorite defenses of the week. Yeah. Tight ends. Let's see what we got here. We got Kelsey. With Mahomes back, he's going to be a fine play. And it looks like his price tag is starting to come down a little bit, which is good. Evan Ingram's out. Austin Hooper has just been ridiculously money, especially now that Sanu's gone. That should, let's see, he's 5,500. I'm walking you through my thought process here. I want to see where Calvin Ridley's at. Calvin Ridley's actually a little cheaper at 5,400. I'm going to run Calvin Ridley in this lineup, and I'll talk about that in a second. But that tells me I'm not going to run Austin Hooper. So I was just wanting to see who was cheaper and play them. Andrews against Cincy, 5,200. Everett. Oh, that's who I want to play. Okay, I'm playing Everett. So I like Everett. He's got a great matchup. And he's the only quality tight end. I like Hawkinson this week too. Actually, I think Hawkinson's a sneaky play. I think he gets like 5 catches, 50 yards, and maybe a touchdown. Everett is just the best looking price tag with the best matchup and the most usage. He's been getting. He only got 3 targets last game, which was a pretty big fall off from his previous weeks, which is something to monitor. But you know, and I mean, do I go Hawkinson in this lineup? I am going to go Hawk. I'm just going to take a flyer on Hawkinson here. He's cheaper. I need to save the money because I need the budget. And I do like his matchup this week. So this is, I mean, a lot of these plays are just gut plays on this lineup. But I do like Hawkinson a lot as well. So now we're going to receivers. So Michael Thomas, I like Michael Thomas. I just have a weird feeling it's going to be more of an Alvin Kamara kind of day. Tyreek Hill, now that Mahomes is back, is obviously a pretty good play. Just very expensive, just like Michael Thomas. Mike Evans, 7,600. Julio, I don't like that much this week, simply because he's got a real tough corner matchup against Lattimore. Evans and Godwin, one of them's going off, but I'm going to assume it's going to be Godwin because Evans is going to be shadowed by Lattimore. So the problem I'm running into here is my budget, man. Man, I want to stack there with the Winston Godwin connection. But this might not be the lineup to do it. Anyway, I like Godwin, and I don't like Evans as much this week. Kupp is fine, but he's expensive. Galladay, I don't really like the matchup. Devontae Adams, I don't really think Green Bay's going to throw a ton. T.Y. is probably not going to play. Allen Robinson is a fine play this week, I think. He should get a volume, even though his quarterback is atrocious. Allen Robinson should get the volume to make up for it. Marvin Jones Jr., no. Odell Beckham, not really. John Brown, not really. I like Golden Tate. He doesn't fit my budget on this particular lineup. Well, he might in a second because I might have to flip some stuff around because my remaining budget's just really bad. Like really bad. So yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go away from the Camara because I need to save some money there, and we'll go with Ingram. Could also go with Marlon Mack. They both, they both are about. Neither one's involved in the pass game much. Ingram seems to get I'm gonna go Mack. He's cheap. Yeah, I'm gonna take a flyer on 2 running backs who don't catch passes this week, which is dangerous. But anyway, back to receivers. On this lineup at least. So I do want Golden Tate. So that'll. I think but now that because, and this is really only because Evan Ingram's out. Because Evan Ingram's out, I like Golden Tate this week. Smith-Schuster. Wow, how the mighty have fallen. He's cheap I mean, he's even cheap for what he provides. I like Fitzgerald this week because I love the matchup. Zach Pascal, damn, where'd you come from, son? I'm not really crazy about any of these other guys. Crowder could get 1,000 targets. You just never know with him. Shepard out. Oh yeah, I love Golden Tate. Shepard's out. Ingram's out. It's got to be a Golden Tate kind of day. It makes me like him even more. And look at this, just right in there. Let's go Robbie Anderson. Fits my price tag perfectly for this lineup. I like. He's got some upside this week. You know, he just does. He's bound to have a hit week, and he's due. Quite simply, he's due. Devontae Parker's a good play this week. That's about it. I could see Corey Davis having a good week. Maybe, not really. And Darius Slayton has also, the games he's played, has done pretty well. So he's a sneaky, really cheap play. So that's where I'm at this week. And we did keep it under 30. We kept it at 20 minutes. I didn't get into too much specifics on a lot of these about why I like him and why I don't, but you get the meat of what I'm trying to say. Marquise Brown, also very good potential if he plays, but he has a late week injury, so beware of that. But if Marquise Brown plays, his 5,100 price tag is pretty good. You're going to want to pair him with Lamar Jackson on those kind of lineups. So just because I'm way under my 30-minute time limit, I'm going to go ahead and do another lineup real quick just to kind of show you how I do them. It's going to be the same format, same players available, and just to show you how I'm going to switch it up. So in this one, I'm going to go Lamar Jackson, and we already know I'm doing Marquise Brown because I just said I was. 5,100. Where's he at? Okay. Yeah, I mean the thing about Cincy is they actually do tend to shut down top receivers really well, but I don't know that Marquise Brown I would consider a top receiver. He's really small. He's really quick. He's got a very unique skill set, and man, he really hadn't had any good games since the beginning of the year. But I just this could be a week for him. This definitely could be a week for him. So in terms of cheap things I like here. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna take Parker because he's so cheap. I really like Golden Tate this week, so I'm gonna run him again. And man, Larry Fitzgerald's targets have just plummeted the last few weeks. Plummeted the last few weeks. I like Christian Kirk this week. That's kind of weird, isn't it? It's kind of weird, yeah. I just think he's gonna. They're in a matchup where they're gonna have to throw. I'm just gonna roll out Christian Kirk in this one. Defenses, I'm gonna go right back to my pick of the Browns. I probably shouldn't go all in on them this week, but I feel pretty good about them. I want to see the difference. I'm going to take Hawkinson to see what it gives me to work with for running backs. Then maybe I can fit Kamara into this one along with. I mean, Derrick Henry on paper, man, it's just where it's at. I'll run Henry on another one, man. Then we got 5,800 for the last one. I'm going to go with David Johnson. Why the fuck not? So there we go. Oh, no, I already got Christian Kirk. I'm not doing David Johnson. Is there anyone just more expensive that I would want? I like Calvin Ridley a lot, so let's see what that gives us. That gives us 400 to play with. Is there a tight end better than Hawkinson for 4,300? Man, Everett's 45. That's rough. I like this lineup. I mean, maybe I can upgrade on Henry to 6,800. Not really. Kamara to 86. No. Parker to 52. Is there a receiver for 5,200 I'd like more? DJ Moore, Marquise Brown. I can do the Marquise Brown stack instead of the Devontae Parker. You know, I'm going to go for it. Thing about Lamar Jackson when you're stacking him is he's not the best stack because he gets a lot of his stats from running. So, yeah, I'm not going to do that either. Christian Kirk to 5,600, maybe there. No, I mean, I could go with Fitzgerald instead, but Christian Kirk looks like his stock has been on the rise. Or I could do a defense at 2,900 and upgrade there. I could get up to the Giants or the Jets. I just believe in Cleveland this week, so I'm going to run this lineup. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video today. Like I said, I'm gonna try to keep them under 30 minutes, even on our Fridays where we do some more extensive analysis. So I definitely hope you enjoyed it, and I really hope we all make some money this week. It has been. It's actually last week was pretty rough for me. I didn't do that wasn't why I didn't do a recap edition. I've actually had a pretty busy week, but this last week, I'm not gonna lie, I only cashed in maybe 3 of 14 events. It was a very bad week for me. Not really sure where things went wrong last week, but they went wrong. So, hopefully this week we could turn it around a little. I want to thank you for stopping by the Ultimate Fan Guy. Much, much love, and I'll see you around soon.